changes. Full house as ever at Highbury, as we bring you up to date with all today's team news. 4 changes from the Arsenal side that lost at Bolton. Lauren returns at right back in place of Justin Hoyt. Freddie Ljungberg's injured, so Jose Antonio Reyes comes into midfield, where there's also a starting place for Mathieu Flamini in preference to Cesc Fabregas. In attack, Dennis Bergkamp returns in place of fellow Dutchman Robin van Persie. Newcastle are without their Welsh international striker Craig Bellamy, who we're told is out injured. But with Alan Shearer fit again, the loss isn't as great as it might have been. Bellamy's injury means a starting place for Laurent Robert, and the other change is in the back 4, where Olivier Bernard comes back for new signing Celestine Babayaro, who's also injured. Craig Bellamy sitting it out on the bench. A little bit of mystery surrounding his absence from the starting lineup today. We were told he had a hamstring injury, but we're wondering, Andy, why he bothered to travel if that's the case.
Very surprising, that one. And certainly I think if you've got a hamstring injury, the last thing you want is a 5-6 hour coach ride after this game back to Newcastle. So that surprises me to see Craig Bellamy actually in London if he does have this hamstring injury. I mean, it's interesting, Newcastle's formation, Alan, today. Certainly they've, it would appear that they're being quite positive. Robert and Amiobi are going to occupy the wider areas to leave Shearer up on his own. That can obviously be quite easily adapt to 4-4-2 if need be, and they can get more men behind the ball. But certainly I've seen Arsenal struggle a little bit at times in the Champions League against teams with similar formations to what Newcastle have got this afternoon.
Well, I hope I'm not tempting fate by saying that we're highly unlikely to have a 0-0 scoreline here at Highbury. Arsenal and Newcastle have been involved in more high-scoring games than any other 2 teams in the Premier League this season. More than 150 goals have flown into the net when these 2 teams have been in action, and that's an average of more than 3 goals per game. Andy, it's an average, hopefully and surely, will continue here today.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Certainly both of these 2 teams are at their very best when they're attacking, no question about that. I'm looking forward to seeing Boumsong at the heart of the Newcastle defence. A lot of onus on him now to try and shore up those gaps that were so evident early on in the season. But certainly, Alan, you're dead right. There's so much quality there in a forward-going capacity this afternoon. Be amazed if we don't get some goals.
Arsenal, as I mentioned, now 13 points behind the leaders Chelsea, following the Gunners' first defeat in 8 Premier League matches. The 1-0 reverse at Bolton, where Reyes here was used as a substitute. He comes into the starting lineup today with Freddie Ljungberg out injured. Arsenal have fallen to 3rd now. They're 2 points behind Manchester United. A win will take them back into 2nd place and reduce the gap again on Chelsea to 10 points. But a win is the absolute minimum that Arsenal require here. They had won 4 games in a row before dropping points in their last 2 games against Manchester City. That was a 1-1 draw, and the 1-0 defeat at Bolton. They've won 5 of their last 8 in the Premier League, Arsenal, but with Chelsea seemingly not vulnerable at all to the usual nerves that afflict teams at the top of the table, Arsenal and Manchester United both know, quite simply, they have to keep on winning. Newcastle lost 1-0 at Arsenal on December the 29th. Since then, they've been undefeated in 4 matches, winning in the Premier League against Birmingham and Southampton and drawing at West Bromwich Albion. They also beat non-league Yeading in the FA Cup. Pires switched over from the left to the right in this Arsenal lineup. That's because of the absence of Freddie Ljungberg. So Reyes will take up that position on the left. Bergkamp and Henry already combining effectively here, and straight out of the traps Arsenal. What a start! Pires with a header back across, and it somehow or other stayed out. It could have been a sensational opening. It should have been a goal inside the first 30 seconds.
Wonderful flowing move, certainly involving typically Thierry Henry, who finds Ashley Cole on the overlap. Lovely ball clip to the back post. Pires does everything right. Back across the goals, and Flamini has a swish at it and doesn't make good enough contact. Shea Given delighted just to be able to grab it right in front of the goal line.
Well, the young Frenchman's been brought into the side today because Fabregas is feeling fatigue after so many matches for a 17-year-old, and he could have totally justified his manager's decision then inside the opening minute. We're used to seeing Arsenal start in a high-powered way, but that, even by their standards, that was something.
Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. It really was a poor contact from Flamini. Anything better than that, and the Gunners are already one up.
Stephen Taylor fails to keep the ball in play. Young man who's been doing very well in the right-back position for Newcastle. Today, by the way, his 19th birthday. Ashley Cole, who returned to the team against Bolton after missing a couple of games through injury. Vieira standing off for once. He's trying to build here in midfield, but Vieira didn't stand off then with the challenge. Ramble across to win it back, and then plays it straight into touch. Newcastle have shown a timely improvement following a dreadful run of 13 Premier League games that brought them only 2 wins. At one stage they dropped as low as 15th. They're currently 12th, with Arsene Wenger's team currently 3rd. Boomsong trying to get in ahead of Bergkamp. Seemed to bring him down, but nothing given. Boya has the ball for Newcastle United. Niobe stretching the Arsenal back four, but could have produced a better cross than that. I must say, I've never seen him play in this particular role before.
No, it's an interesting one. Maybe Graham Souness and the staff at Newcastle have been doing a little bit of homework on when Arsenal have played and when they've struggled at Highbury. And invariably, Alan, when the team comes up against them with 3 narrow midfielders, Newcastle have got with Jenas and with Boya and with Kieran Dyer, and leave 2 wide and 1 up the middle. They can struggle. They do get frustrated very quickly, and that'll be the name of the game today for Newcastle. Frustrate the Arsenal for as long as you can, and when you get a chance, make it count.
Injury there for Flamini, but the French under-21 international could be back in the action. Toure, Vieira's layoff. Campbell, who signed a new contract deal this week with Arsenal that will keep him here for another couple of years beyond the end of his current contract. Jenas for Newcastle United. Layoff by Dyer. Bernard, he knows he's got to produce something special now to keep his first team place since the arrival of Celestine Babayaro from Chelsea. In fact, it's quite possible that Babayaro could move on before the end of the transfer window on the final day of January. Taylor wins it back for Newcastle. Here's Pires. Henry down the middle. Boomsong's interception.
Yeah, the ball from Pires there, neither one nor the other. It wasn't clipped to Dennis Bergkamp in behind Boomsong or rolled into Henry's feet.
Robert, another about whom there's a lot of speculation regarding his future at Newcastle United. He's had 1 or 2 public fallouts already with manager Graham Souness. There's Cole. Reyes just sidesteps Boya. Bergkamp back to Patrick Vieira. The long ball was too long for Pires.
Already the Newcastle players not too eager to try and dive in and pinch the ball, keeping their shape, and particularly those 3 in the midfield. Awkward role for Shoran Niobe this afternoon. He'd much rather be up there alongside Alan Shearer, but he's got to do a job for the team, certainly for the first hour.
Aaron playing it infield, but he's just caught Romney by surprise with that pass. Bernard to Shearer, and he wins the free kick. Challenged from behind by Toure. Steve Dunn, the referee today. Players doing the defensive side of his job reasonably well, but then his clearance deflected back into the penalty area where Campbell cleared it. And the Obi. That's a goal kick. Souness replaced Bobby Robson as the Newcastle manager back in September. This is his 19th game in the Premier League, and his record: won 6, drawn 6, lost 6.
Had a great start, didn't he? Came into a set of fixtures that Newcastle would be expected to win, and he did. But a little bit of late, and it's found it a lot more difficult.
And he's also found himself on the end of quite a lot of criticism in the North East. Seems a bit harsh to me. Any new manager moving into a club is going to take time to settle and time to bring his own ideas to fruition. Camp has himself been out injured recently. Missed 4 games with a thigh problem before coming back as a substitute at Bolton, but today preferred to the youngster Robin van Persie. And here's one of Newcastle's new signings, Jean-Alain Boumsong, who played less than 30 games for Glasgow Rangers before his move into the English Premier League. Cole for Arsenal. Vieira dispossessed. That doesn't happen often. Taylor. It's all a bit congested in that middle third. So Boumsong helps it back to Gibbon. And Miobi's header on. Campbell claiming an Arsenal throw as Kieran Dyer challenged him.
You're absolutely right about the middle of the park, though, Alan. Very congested, and it will be. That will suit Newcastle. You know, Vieira won't have any time. Flamini will have very little time to get their head up and start picking their passes. In the main, Arsenal are going to need to use the fullbacks and the wide areas if they're going to get forward.
Campbell's clearance. Away by Sol Campbell. Bowyer in quickly. It's been untidy at the moment after that dramatic opening. It could get better now for Newcastle. Bowyer twists and turns. Robert was well placed and indeed almost unmarked in the middle, but he didn't see it. Pires sliding it forward. Henry was delaying his run, knowing that he would have been offside.
Yeah, he was just in that position that he likes to actually stand in an offside position, Thierry Henry, and then just drift back level to dart back in behind. That's what he does so well. So disconcerting for defenders because they can't see him and they can't see the ball. That's where Henry likes to operate, in behind defenders. They can't find him.
Amiobi, neat sidestep play by him. Dyer still involved. And then the long ball to pick out Laurent Robert. A misunderstanding between him and Bernard there. I think he thought the fullback was going on the overlap, but he stayed put. Terrific little ball, and Arsenal win a free kick.
Yeah, lovely little bit of movement there from Flamini. Just clipped by Boumsong.
Paid a lot of money for him. Do you?
Yeah, I mean,
you know much about him?
Yeah, I've seen him a few times playing in a Rangers shirt, and looks a good player. Looks a nice footballer, Alan. Now, what he's got to be at the back four in the heart of that Newcastle defence is a leader as well, an organiser, a talker. Now, whether he is all of those so far, I'm not so sure. Certainly he can play, no question about that. Graham Souness wouldn't have shelled out, what, 8 million quid?
Allegedly, yes. He dwelt a little too long on the ball then, but his footballing ability got him out of trouble. And I think that's something he is renowned as, a good footballer. He's not your industrial type of central defender who's just there to whack the ball away. He'll play it out of the field.
Absolutely, absolutely right. And that's important if you're building for the future and you're looking to promote good football in your team. But on the same token, we also know you've got to have the right character and the right people alongside him to make sure that there is now and again some no-nonsense defending, that people do clear their lines efficiently.
Arsenal are top scorers in the Premier League, 52 goals. And if they maintain that sort of rate over the rest of the season, they're on course to score more than 90. But they've conceded 25. And in the whole of last season, when they won the championship, of course, they only let in 26. That's significant.
Yeah.
Ball by the Frenchman, straight to Flamini. Henry's taken up a position far post. Pires off Bernard for a corner, and Graham Souness would be very unhappy with Robert's part in that.
Absolutely, because one sloppy pass like that just puts the entire midfield out of the game, and then Flamini is running at the heart of that Newcastle defence. An unnecessary ball. If you're in trouble at places like Highbury, Alan, you just turn it round, turn the Arsenal defenders around, roll it down the line. Don't play little balls infield that can get cut out. Very dangerous.
So Campbell being marked closely by Bramble. Reyes will take the kick. And it's short, catching Newcastle Newcastle by surprise. A better angle for Reyes. Bernard went for it, Flamini headed it on, and coolly back to goalkeeper Shea Given. He's already been called upon, of course, to make a save in that early Arsenal attack that could so easily have brought them a goal. A bit of skill there by Bergkamp, bringing the ball down out of the sky. 10 years now, an Arsenal man, and a gorgeous ball again by Bergkamp, and it's set up for Henry here. Pires to his right. Lauren joins in the attack. Here is Pires. And the shot by Henry for once was miles off target, most unlike him. Yeah, it certainly was. Good play though again from the Arsenal. I think Thierry Henry a little bit frustrated that Jose Reyes' initial touch back to him from this little great ball through from Bergkamp wasn't better. That touch there, that should have been right in the path for Henry to pull the trigger. As it happens, Lauren supports, finds Pires who pulls it back, and the shot is a poor one. Henry scored the winner in the corresponding game here last season. It was a penalty kick late on in the game after Newcastle had twice come back. Robert, Genus, Bernard. He's just showing him inside. They know each other pretty well, those two Frenchmen. And another one. Boomsong plays it back to Bramble. Given under pressure from Henry. Did well to launch it early towards Amiobi. Patrick Vieira now for Arsenal. Bergkamp. Just got it wrong this time. Yeah, unlucky. What I do love about the Arsenal is the fullbacks, the way they continue to always want to get forward. And that midfield four at times can become 5, even 6 players, because both fullbacks are willing to bomb forward at every opportunity, particularly Ashley Cole. There's Campbell. And typically Alan Shearer wasn't going to let him have an easy ride then. In height terms, Alan, that one is a bit of a mismatch. I mean, that is an option as well for Newcastle today, that any diagonal balls aerially is going to be a threat to Ashley Cole. Shola Amiobi, that is also a good get-out ball for them. Well, there's the man who has been playing in the wide positions to his dismay. He feels he should be the central striker alongside Alan Shearer, and he's played in that role, of course, many, many times. There's Pires. Shadowing him all the way. Vieira. There's again involved. As is Vieira here. Into Campbell. Cole making his run down the left. It wasn't a good ball though. Easily anticipated by Taylor. Difficult for Newcastle. They're getting so many men back behind the ball. When they win it, they've only really got Alan Shearer, and in that particular instance he'd come towards young Taylor and no options at all, the man on the ball. Henry, who always has options on the ball, but he's got this particular option wrong. Getting it back from Dyer. Carelessly giving it away. That's the problem you have. I mean, Alan's not the most mobile anymore, Alan Shearer. His threat is attacking balls from the wide areas, but what Newcastle can't afford to do is just continue to give away possession, because now they're chasing it all over the park now. They're trying to match the Arsenal movement, and you can't do it for long periods, Alan, without getting tired. Vieira being pulled back then by Taylor. Careful, yes he is. He's going to celebrate his 19th birthday with a yellow card. Yeah, just blatantly pulling Patrick Vieira back there. Good decision from the referee. A long time now for young Taylor to go on a yellow card. Not the birthday card he wanted. And as you rightly say, not the place to get one so relatively early in the game either. He's going to be under threat, you can guarantee that. Poor touch by him. Pires winning it back, but deflects it to Laurent Robert. Arsenal prove they know how to defend as well as they get men back behind the ball. Another careless pass by Robert.
I mean, that's 3 or 4 times, Alan, in the opening, 15, 16 minutes. Laurent Robert has given it away so cheaply. It drives you mad, honestly, at places like Arsenal. That ball is so precious. You must keep it. At the moment, he's been far too careless.
And that won't help his cause with the manager.
There you go. That's how easy it is to concede a goal from just giving possession away sloppily. That all stemmed from that poor, misplaced Robert pass. If that ball from Bergkamp was a yard shorter on, he would have been on that.
And he'll be winning the header again, but he's going to do that all the time, you would imagine, against Cole. That's what he does now. From the knockdowns, the count. Player was caught there. Patrick Vieira's challenge, and if the referee's consistent, he ought to consider a yellow card.
I think, honestly, I do think that sort of challenge is the one that, when you see young Taylor getting yellow carded for just grabbing Vieira.
He's got away with it in that respect, but it is a free kick, of course, and Shearer inevitably will be a threat. Needs 1 goal for his 250th in the Premier League, Alan Shearer. Bramble's gone in behind him, and Taylor, who's 6 foot plus as well. But an easy catch for Almunia.
That is such a poor ball in from Jermaine Jenas as well.
Terrific kick by the goalkeeper. It's got Newcastle backpedaling, and Bernard seemed to have his arms around Henry there.
Certainly Thierry Henry was trying to shield, put his body between Bernard and the ball. Newcastle man coming off best there, but Henry not looking too pleased with the decision.
Finding himself hemmed in here, and leaves it to Taylor to get him out of trouble. Campbell goes to win the header from Amiobi this time. Graham Souness, who's been involved in a few midfield collisions in his day, disagrees with that verdict.
Here's that incident. Henry chasing that long ball through from Almunia. He keeps his body between the Newcastle defender and the ball. No, I don't think Bernard has done an awful lot wrong there.
Dominique, it's a good ball. And a goal here, surely, yes! This time they have broken through, and it's Dennis Bergkamp who scored. 19 minutes gone. Arsenal take the lead with the simplest of finishes by the master finisher.
Well, it's a quality in Dennis Bergkamp's feet. Just watches this ball all the way. He's just got the run on young Taylor. The first touch is awkward, comes off his chest, and then he just slips it past Shay Given beautifully. He's just a yard quicker in his brain than young Taylor, and that's what happens. He'll slide it past Shay Given every time. 10 out of 10 he'll do that, because his feet and technically he's so good, so bright. You can't say they don't deserve it.
It's the first time Dennis Bergkamp has scored for 18 games. And just his 4th goal of the season, a man who has passed a century of goals in Arsenal colours. And that'll settle the champions down. As Diab takes on Flamini and pulls a dangerous ball back. Good clearance from Campbell. Now Robert. Lauren's challenge was just enough. Pires. Stumbles it out of play.
Well, that's a better response from Newcastle. We've seen Kieran Dyer get to the byline there, and Laurent Robert, that is what he's playing for, to get it out of his feet, deliver it with that wonderful left foot, give Shearer something to attack. Now they're now going to need to produce a lot more of that, Alan, if they're going to get back in this game.
Arsenal's 53rd Premier League goal of the season, and if you're a Newcastle fan, here's a depressing statistic. It's over 2 years now, and 58 games since Arsenal lost after scoring first against Premier League opposition. Incredible record. Robert. Not the cleanest clearance, but effective, and Vieira cleaned it up nicely. Song just gives it away to Cole. Reyes getting in behind his man and finding Thierry Henry. Brilliant bit of skill by Thierry Henry. Great save.
Fantastic football. That really is beautiful stuff to watch. Fast flowing football, ending up with Henry again being the man to force a great save from Shay Given. It's a wonderful run from Reyes. Henry on the chest. He's got Pires on the overlap, but he ignores him. I'll tell you what, it's a smart save from Shay Given.
One of the very best in Premier League football, Shay Given, without doubt. Possibly the very best here, taking the corner. Henry failed to get beyond the first man. Not like him. Here he is again. Cole. On to Lauren. Bergkamp, the goal scorer. Ray forward, but gives it away. Taylor. Good pressure by Arsenal on the Newcastle man on the ball, not giving them any time. Look at that. Vieira instantly closes down Robert, but they have played their way impressively out of danger here. And Niobe's miles offside.
It's very difficult when you go to Highbury playing against such quality players, Alan. Arsenal dictating the tempo of the game there. And they want to play fast, one touch, we know they're capable of that, then they slow it down, give everybody a breather. When you see them knocking it across the back four, that's basically signalling to Henry and Bergkamp, just have a breather for 5-10 seconds before we get ready to build the pace up again and burst forward once more.
With Perez on this occasion. Halfway through the opening 45 minutes of this Barclays English Premier League match at Highbury, and Arsenal, the champions, lead Newcastle United by 1-0 to 0. Dennis Bergkamp is the scorer. Just his 4th goal of the season. Given preventing the corner. His clearance has gone straight to Ashley Cole. Arsenal found their rhythm very early on here. Lauren, and he's won a corner off Robert, who tries to say it should have been a goal kick.
Well, he did well there, Robert. He tracked the run of Lauren. That's again an important part of his afternoon. Did that very well there. A bit disappointed to see it go out for a corner, but he did his job.
Contact perhaps between Perez and Reyes before the corner's taken in front of all the travelling Geordie fans. And Boomsong has been detailed to watch Vieira. Clever ball back in. Forced some action from the defenders. Coming out as far as Bergkamp. There's Vieira again. Given away to Bowyer. Now Laurent Robert. Newcastle finding themselves penned in. They've only won 7 of the 23 Premier League games so far. Graham Souness's team. Drawn 8 and lost 8. Bernard for them. Lucky to get it back. Genus. Niobe. Well, if the system that Graham Souness has opted for today was intended to stifle Arsenal, you have to say at the moment it's not working.
No.
Trying to get in behind Lauren.
It's actually stifling his own team, Alan. Got to be honest with you at the moment. Alan Shearer again is going to be a passenger in this team, playing like this for long periods.
He has got the personnel out there to change it to a more orthodox 4-4-2 if he wishes. Maybe a bit early yet. Challenged by Vieira and Bowyer, two fiery characters in the middle of the field. And Vieira looks appealingly at the referee, but the free kick's been given.
And that's number 2 now, Patrick Vieira on Lee Bowyer. And he dives in with his left foot, but he sort of scissors him with the right foot. Bowyer crumples to the ground, so Patrick going to have to be a little bit careful. Again, Wright Taylor won't want to draw an early yellow card, not in a competitive game, especially with so many players in the middle of the park.
Boomsong, an extra aerial threat for Arsenal to deal with. Genus with a better free kick this time, but still not a very good one. As Perez hits it early to Henry. Reyes on the break. They've got an extra man here. Arsenal, just as well that Dyer's got the energy to get back like that and win it back.
It's well played, Kieran Dyer. Sloppy free kick again from Jermaine Genus. It's Arsenal on the attack.
seems surprising to think now that it was just, what, 3 months ago when Arsenal led the table by 5 points from Chelsea after winning 8 of their first 9 games in the Premier League. But they've only managed 6 wins, you know, in their 14 league games since, Andy, and that is not, obviously, championship form.
No, certainly when they lost to Manchester United, they did have a bit of a wobble up, and they drew a few games after that. Just seemed to derail them for a split second, but they're looking a little bit more like their old selves today.
They have the lead, they have a free kick. Which Reyes has taken early and rather sloppily. Much to the disgust of two of the master craftsmen out there. Newcastle always usually good for a goal. They've scored a healthy 35 goals. That's actually more than Everton, who are 4th in the table. But they've now conceded 41, and that is one of the worst defensive records in the Premier League outside of the bottom 3 relegation places. Seems to be their eternal dilemma. They can get goals, they can't prevent the opposition scoring. Now that Campbell looks absolutely amazed at that decision.
I think for a minute Sol Campbell thought Alan Shearer was backing into him, if anything.
That wouldn't be like Mr. Shearer, though, would it?
Here's an opportunity, Alan, now. This is a classic situation. Arsenal have conceded goals. They've been a little bit vulnerable from set pieces. Get it delivered into the right area, just to the left of that penalty spot. That's where Robert has got to put this ball. Allow Shearer, Boomsong and those tall guys to attack it.
Yeah, half the goals they've conceded this season have been from set pieces, but not ones like that.
No, and you can practice them all week long on the training ground. It only matters when you get out there on a match day.
Arsenal very nearly broke and threatened at the other end. That's 2 free kicks by Genius, 1 by Robert, all 3 awful.
Absolutely. And that leaves managers and staff. I can imagine Graham Souness already will be looking at the rest of his staff and saying, we've been practicing these all week. We get opportunities and we're careless. We waste them. Cannot afford to do that when you are playing the best teams.
Because it is, of course, doubtful they'll get too many opportunities from open play. Munya preferred again, of course, to Jens Lehmann in the Arsenal goal. He started the last 8 Premier League games now. Taylor, closed down by Reyes. And the ball forward for Amiobi. Campbell is quick to cover the ground, but Amiobi's even quicker. Great play by him, pulls it back for Boya, who produces the worst shot of the weekend.
Unlucky. Shola Amiobi did very well. Maybe the better option would have been to have clipped that up towards the back post, but I wouldn't want to be too critical because he did very, very well. When he makes the run into the gully, he's got Sol Campbell there, one of the best defenders in the world, and he skins him. I think this ball should have been stood up to the back post. That's a difficult one for Boya to try and get on the goals.
He has scored twice in his last 4 games, Lee Boya. Bergkamp, who has scored here for Arsenal, and his goal still separates the sides, coming up to the half-hour point. Always looking to get on with things quickly. Some teams actually like the ball being out of play, but Arsenal wanted in play all the time. Munya kicks long, too long. Well, there's going to be Boomsong's head of that, but it's come back to Thierry Henry. Given knew that was going wide from the goal scorer Bergkamp.
Yeah, just popped up invitingly for Dennis Bergkamp to try his luck at a volley. Acute angle, a long way out as well. It was always going to be some shot to beat Shay Given from there, but already found the net once. Feeling confident, Dennis Bergkamp. He's been involved in the game. He's been nice and bright and lively. And you can see there, just a little shake of the head there suggests he felt he should have done even a little bit better from that angle.
Half an hour gone here in the Barclays English Premier League at Highbury. Arsenal, the champions, lead Newcastle United by 1-0. And remember, Arsenal trail the current leaders, and dare we call them yet, champions-elect Chelsea, by 13 points at the moment. There's Bernard. That's good cross for Amiobi, should have done better.
Better ball in. Good deep ball from Olivier Bernard. Shola Amiobi there realises as well that was a good opportunity for him. Ashley Cole slept, got tucked in too close to Sol Campbell. Still a long way out, still a lot to do to beat Almunia from there. But he's better than that, Amiobi. He should have at least made Almunia fight to save that. That's the best ball that they've delivered so far in the opening 30 minutes.
Boom Sound's clearance. Gina's lost the ball for a moment. Didn't gain plenty of height on his clearance. Shearer wins the header against Campbell. Toure there on the cover. Boom Song again. Oh, great confidence, and in the end, strength as well.
And he was brave there as well. He put his head right in amongst Flamini there.
Newcastle haven't won their last 8 League and Cup games against Arsenal. And their last visit to London, where they have over the years had an awful record, that ended in a 4-0 hammering against Chelsea back in December. Since then, William Soudis' team have drawn their last 2 games on the road against Blackburn and West Bromwich Albion, but just 2 away wins all season for them. Talked about Arsenal. What do you make of Newcastle's season so far?
Well, got to say, Alan, it's one that's been poor so far. And where they are in the table, I look at the teams that are above Newcastle at the moment. A lot of those sort of teams would dearly love to have the squad that Graham Souness possesses. Their results haven't been good enough. They're going to need to have a strong second half to the season.
As Perez lines up a long-range effort, and that was mighty close.
Very, very close. Tell you what, I don't think Shay Given was getting it. It's a long way out. Normally we see Arsenal, when Perez gets it in this position, he's looking to thread someone through, decides to have a pop, and there's swerve and everything on it. And that is very, very close. Look at that, that's inside the goals, and it just drifts wide. Shay Given checking his left-hand post there. I tell you, he might not have got that.
Scored 11 goals already this season, Robert Perez. He got 19 last season. It's his best ever campaign that was for goal scoring. And it's a terrific total for a wide player. Oh yeah, the challenge and the foul on Campbell. And looks from his body language, though Mr. Dunn's going to let him off with a telling off.
I think that's right as well. Yes, he clipped Sol Campbell there, but I don't think that one's worthy of a yellow card. Unfortunately, because it's Lee Bowyer. People always automatically assume perhaps something a little bit more sinister in it.
There's Campbell, not worse for wear. Good ball as well. Song at full stretch to head that away, and then Taylor completes the clearance for Newcastle. Back in by Toure, and another hefty collision there in the middle. Pierre is just about picking himself up as Perez goes forward and slides a lovely little ball, almost but not quite, into the path of Dennis Bergkamp.
And he's got hurt as well, Robert Perez. He's gone straight down and he stayed down. Just as he was sliding that ball through to Dennis Bergkamp, he appeared to get nudged or clipped. He's not moving, not looking like he's too happy at the moment.
And with no Freddie Ljungberg available because of injury, they'll want him back on his feet.
I think it's Jermaine Gina's coming across. And he's just stuck his foot out. I think he's caught Robert Perez right on his ankle. You watch there, studs are up, bang, look, right on the side of the shin. That's a nasty challenge. You can roll your ankle and be out for 5 or 6 weeks very easily from something that looks quite innocuous. And Robert Perez is understandably disappointed with that challenge.
Gary Lewin, the Arsenal physio, has radio contact with the bench, so he'll be getting the message through to Arsene Wenger about how bad that injury is. Glenn Hoddle, who has dared to cross over from his White Hart Lane connections, amongst those in the director's box here at Highbury today, now manager of Wolves, of course, who had an excellent win in London yesterday against Millwall. Brave man though, isn't he? Ex-Tottenham legend at Highbury.
Wolves must have some money, Alan, if he's looking at something there to go and purchase.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Or is it just a day out? There's been a good tackle by Vieira. Perez has just been waved back on by the referee. As Arsenal dally a little. Now that tackle, which I described as a great tackle, what it was, could have serious consequences for Vieira. He doesn't stay down often.
No, he doesn't. I think he's wrapped his shins again there, look. Yeah, shins have collided there. It is a good challenge on Olivier Bernard, it really was, but the momentum from Newcastle's left back has taken him right through and clattered into Patrick Vieira's right shin.
The physio's just got Perez walking, or should we say limping again, and now he's got another problem to deal with. It's a cold day. That water doesn't revive him.
Yeah.
Nothing will. And again, the radio contact with the bench. And we'll know that if Patrick Vieira has to come off, then it is serious. And he's not happy by the looks of it, but I don't really see he has a complaint. It was his tackle.
It was. I mean, you know, Olivier Bernard had all the momentum. He was running at, you know, close to full speed. And this may be the goal. Yeah, this is when Bergkamp just nips in front of Taylor. If you just ball watch for a split second with people like Bergkamp, who are so clever, so bright and so alive, that's all he needs, half a yard. He's not the quickest, but the speed is all in his head. And of course, wonderful technique to slide it past Shay Given.
And the togetherness that we always see from these Arsenal players. As Bergkamp celebrated the goal, a little wave up to his family and the executive boxes behind that goal. What a fantastic signing he has been for this football club. Nearing 400 appearances for them now in his 10 years. And I wonder what Gary Loon is telling the bench about Vieira, who still looks a bit shaken. Yeah,
if you watch here, Bernard let it run away from him. I mean, I think Patrick's a little bit disappointed that Bernard has gone in with his studs raised, but it's actually those long legs that have slid in that have ended up clattering into Bernard. I don't think he's responsible at all for anything that Patrick has come up worse with there.
Looked a little worse from that angle, didn't it?
It certainly did.
Yeah. Continues to receive treatment off the field. Here's Bramble for Newcastle United, who are a goal down here with 7 minutes of the first half remaining. Boom song for them. Looks to go long, looking for Robert. Vieira's coming back on. First challenge is going to have to make, will be interesting.
Yeah.
He won't duck it, that's for sure. Genus to Bramble. That's a good ball. Really sneaking in behind, and not behind Toure.
It's better though. Those three central midfield players Newcastle have got, Bowyer, Dyer and Genus. One of them has to mix it up a little bit.
Typically going for everything, injury or no injury. That's a terrific ball for Thierry Henry, who can face up to Boumsong here. The players will know each other well. Vieira seemingly okay again. Toure. Bergkamp. On the way to Genus. Vieira's there to win it back, but only briefly. Minutes of the first half at Highbury. Do you think Graham Souness will consider changing his system here?
I think it's something that will be crossing through his mind now, Alan. I do, yeah. I don't think he'll change it, certainly in the opening 10 minutes of the second half. And maybe at some point, if he feels he really genuinely wants to get back into this game, then he might have to. Because at the moment, we're not seeing enough of Alan Shearer. And that really is his most potent weapon up front.
And now Gary Loon's in action again. The Arsenal physio has been a busy boy. And he dare say the fourth official trying to restrain Arsene Wenger, who's very unhappy about this challenge.
Yeah, that one's more accidental to me. That's young Taylor again. You know, he's just dropped his left foot forward and he's accidentally stood on Reyes' foot. Again, it's very painful. Can look a lot worse than what it is, but I don't think there was anything maliciously intended in it. I mean, there's a young man who's delighted just to be playing Premier League football week in, week out.
cool in public view anyway, Arsene Wenger, but he wasn't happy about that challenge by Taylor. He was a London boy, although he came through the academy system at Newcastle United, got his chance in league football at Wycombe Wanderers. He was on loan last season. Tony Adams, who knows a bit about central defenders, saw him as a great prospect, and he went back to Newcastle with that extra experience, and he's now holding down a regular place at right back.
And he's doing it well, Alan, as well. Got to say, I've been impressed with him.
He's really a central defender as well. As Perez slides it in, on it goes to Flamini, and that was a foul. Vieira there to win it back, but he's deflected it to Taylor. He joins in again and wins the free kick. Reyes has rejoined the action, by the way, after his injury a moment ago. Well, they're spiky, if nothing else, Newcastle. They're never going to lie down and die, Graham Souness's team. Bramble came off Perez, and fortunately for him went straight to Lauren, who's missed the last 4 games with an ankle injury. And there's another challenge, and this time, well, you might have tried the referee's patience too far.
It doesn't help the situation when a lot of players go flying in there to all vent their anger towards Lee Bowyer. I mean, Patrick Vieira's got away with a couple on the same player already, so maybe Bowyer's been a little bit disappointed at 1 or 2 of those, but he's going to get a yellow card here, no question.
I didn't have the privilege of seeing Arsene Wenger play, but I certainly saw Graham Souness a few times, and I'm certain he's produced a few tackles like that and got away with it over the years.
I'm sure Lee Bowyer is saying there, hold on a minute, I've been on the receiving end of a couple of those, and I just think he's just genuinely trying to slide in and get the ball, Alan. Yeah, he's given Patrick Vieira a little clip up in the air, but the big man can take that.
Maybe it was on the adding up. Bramble clears again. Yeah, I mean, he had committed 2 or 3 fouls, hadn't he? Maybe our referee just as had it was 1 too many. I'll take your point.
You know, the nastiest one we've seen this afternoon is the one on Perez, and that's the one Steve Dunn or his officials didn't spot. And that tends to be the way it is for me more often than not. The really nasty ones no one seems to see. Only the players, they know them.
Here's Bernard. Robert on the overlap, he's gone for the cross to Amiobi, who's unmarked again in the middle. Tried to set it up for Shearer and failed.
Yeah. Again, that sort of long, deep ball above Ashley Cole is always going to have the Arsenal man panicking. Amiobi is a foot taller.
It's been a stop-start half, so I'd imagine there'll be a fair bit of stoppage time. Shearer's there. To Perez. Now slides in to win it back. And finds Shearer. Stoppage time, by the way, Andy.
Yeah, no surprise to me there as well that Shearer produces a great cross. He knows where people want to attack it.
Here comes Perez again. Henry. He's beaten the referee as well. He can do everything. Reyes. He fails to take it off him, and that's a great ball through again to the great man, but it sounds as though the whistle's gone in all this mayhem. It wasn't heard by Thierry Henry. Offside, though.
It was a great bit of skill from Jose Reyes on the far side, and, well, looking at that, there's no way Thierry Henry is offside. He looks like he's a yard onside to me. Very difficult for the fourth officials, it really is. If you've never done it, it's exceptionally difficult to try and get that right, especially with people like Henry, who are so quick.
time.
That is a strange one to me, Alan, because Amiobi appeared to be looking up in the air. And the linesman actually put his flag up. I mean, look, he's looking at the ball. He's not backing into Ashley Cole. He's just trying to take that down on his chest. That's a strange one.
Guess he gave a handball, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Certainly didn't seem to be any other offence. Ball kicked by Almunia. It's gone straight to Laurent Robert. He just kept going and then give it away to Campbell, who's done likewise to Genus. Boomsong. And again, Jean-Alain Boomsong for Newcastle. In the final minute now of stoppage time. Dyer. There's Bernard. And Robert. And he suddenly saw a gap and went for it, but what he didn't see was Patrick Vieira stepping into the cul-de-sac as it became, and a lovely ball out to Reyes, and Bergkamp's on the march to his right. Couldn't find the right ball though.
Yeah, Bergkamp and Thierry Henry making a similar run there, straight down the middle of the pitch. Great play from Patrick Vieira, that really was. Wonderful ball to Reyes.
As though Mr. Dunn is going to find a yellow card for that challenge. Presumably it will go in the direction of Reyes, and the Arsenal players and fans are very unhappy about that.
Well, certainly the challenge, and whether the challenge was that bad or not, I'm not sure, but it certainly cost Newcastle the chance of a counter-attack, that's for sure. Right on half-time, you want to give a free kick away like that, and you want to stop the opposition getting at your back four, and Reyes did exactly that.
Card then, this one for Jose Antonio Reyes, and this will be the final meaningful action of the half. The interval arrives at Highbury, and Arsenal go back to the dressing room with a one-goal lead given to them by Dennis Bergkamp. A simple goal in its construction and indeed in its execution. But then the great players always make it look simple, don't they? Patrick Vieira was involved in a few high-powered collisions in the middle of the field. Newcastle have competed just as their manager Graham Souness would have wanted them to, but they've been found lacking really in the department of threatening Almunia in the Arsenal goal. At half-time at Highbury, Arsenal, the champions, lead by 1-0. United, they lead by 1-0. Dennis Bergkamp got it early on, and indeed Arsenal might have scored in the first 30 seconds. They were denied then, but Bergkamp was not to be denied. As you can see, there's been one change made in the interval by Graham Souness, the Newcastle United manager. He's taken off young Stephen Taylor on his 19th birthday and replaced him with the more experienced Aaron Hughes, who has recently lost his regular place in the side. Steve Dunn just checks with his assistants and checks the numbers, and it'll be Arsenal leading 1-0, and with the same 11 personnel who started the match, who will get the second half underway. What do you make of that change then, Andy Townsend?
Yeah, it could be, Alan, as you say, could be because Taylor was on a yellow. You know, I also think possibly the fact that you know, he's got Amiobi and the people like Bowyer in front of him as well, who are always looking to get forward, always looking to get involved in an attacking sense. Maybe he's just a little bit more exposed. He's gone for a little bit more experience, but certainly Aaron Hughes has got.
Well, he'll be called upon to defend straight away, as Newcastle conceded a corner. Vieira and Boomsong having a little wrestling match. Henry takes it. Oh, it was a great header away.
When we talk about set piece, Alan, delivered into the right areas with pace, you've just seen it. That is exactly what Graham Souness would love to see one of his own players produce.
These Newcastle set pieces were very disappointing in the first half, as indeed was their attacking play in general. There's Kieran Dyer. They're going to get him forward more often in this second half. They've got to. And Shearer, who had a strangely quiet and almost anonymous first 45 minutes. But Berg gives it away. I would imagine Graham Simmons won't allow him to do that too many more times before he hooks him to join him on the bench.
Yeah, he's got to have far more an impact in the game. He's so frustrating, Laurent Robert, to watch, because there's so much quality and talent there, but it's just sloppy. So sloppy, and I would agree with you totally, Alan. I think Laurent Robert would have somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes to start having a bit of an impact in this game. Otherwise, time for a change.
Newcastle have won 2, drawn 5 and lost 4 on the road this season. They do draw a lot of games, as indeed they did last season. In fact, they drew more games than anyone else in the Premier League in the campaign just finished. And Bellamy played his part in the role he wants to play as a striker, but with the arrival of Patrick Kluivert, of course, he has gone down the batting order, so to speak, and speculation will continue that maybe Graham Souness is about to sell the Welsh international before the transfer window closes. The official reason he's not in the starting lineup today is a hamstring injury. Free kick, they lead 1-0. Thierry Henry will take it. Dominique making a run to make himself available. Quite a textbook throw-in. Granville under pressure here from Bergkamp. Skies his clearance. And now on to the young Spaniard Reyes. Thierry Henry goes down under the slightest of pushes from Boumsong.
Yeah, he's not happy as well, Jean-Alain Boumsong there. He knows he's given a ball away in an extremely dangerous area. Now, is he asking for the whistle or not, Alan?
Yeah. The controversy, of course, about Henry's free kick goal against Chelsea here back in December, but pretty clearly Mr. Dunn will not allow this to be taken quickly. Doesn't really matter, quickly or slowly. Henry always manages to test the goalkeeper, or nearly always. Let's see if he does this time.
Such a difficult scenario this for goalkeepers. Got to get lots of bodies in the wall, but he's also got to be able to see the ball, which then exposes one half of the goal. As you can see there, Lee Bowyer looking to drop back on the line.
Henry gets it on target. Good save by Gibbon. Saw that coming late through that crowd of bodies in front of him as Touré tries to test the keeper again, but fails. Yeah,
good save from Shay Gibbon, but what Lee Bowyer did actually, drop him back on the post, just enabled Shay Gibbon to just pinch a little bit more towards the post there and save that shot. Without Lee Bowyer dropping back on the line, Shay Gibbon would have done what every other goalkeeper does. They inch towards the middle of the goals, and then if that ball beats the wall, it's in the back of the net.
I must admit, it's a tactic I'm surprised that more teams don't employ more often. A player on the line.
Definitely, Alan. I think obviously there's a school of thought that if you bring a player back on the line, then the opposition are going to put a load of bodies on the line as well. Well, yeah, they might. I think you stop the first problem in the main, and that's the free kicks. So many of these top Premier League players nowadays are able to get that ball over the wall and dip it down under the crossbar quite easily.
Will they survive that scare, Newcastle? Will they survive the ones that are bound to follow here against this free-flowing Arsenal team? Boumsong with the clearance. Here's Lee Bowyer. Hughes has come on in that right-back position. It was a tactical switch, no injury to Taylor. We've had that confirmed from the Newcastle dressing room at half-time. Plenty of time for Hughes. They're getting up well, but Campbell covered brilliantly for Arsenal. Eugenus. Amiobi. Cole didn't realise he'd won it. It was a good tackle. Vieira. On to Dennis Bergkamp. Boumsong very close to him, but he's got the skill to shake him off initially. But Boumsong wasn't going to be beaten easily.
Did well there, Boumsong. As you say, got very, very tight to Dennis Bergkamp. Snapping at his heels, eventually won the ball. The Dutchman giving away the free kick.
Newcastle 5th last season, 4 points off qualifying for the Champions League. They went into the UEFA Cup and they're still in it. They've reached the final stages. But otherwise, it's been a very disappointing season on Tyneside. Reyes trying to make make it even more disappointing today. Bernard's clearance. Bergkamp playing it straight back in, rather optimistically. Champions twice in the last 3 seasons, and in this campaign they're bidding to become the first Arsenal team for 70 years to win back-to-back league titles. But Arsene Wenger was quoted in the morning papers as saying if they retain their title, it'll be his greatest achievement ever as their manager. And when you think they went through the whole of last season unbeaten, that's some statement.
Absolutely. It's a testament to how well Chelsea have performed and how consistent they have been.
Kluivert, a possible option for Newcastle United. He's on the bench today. He looks on as Arsenal attack again. With Bergkamp. That's a great ball for Reyes. Just a shade too much on it, wasn't it?
Yeah, Shea Given did very well. Just spotted the run from Reyes. Knew full well that Bergkamp, master of that through ball, would find it. Did well to anticipate it and come and smother it.
There's Vieira powering his way through as ever, but this time Genius nicks the ball off his toe. Didn't take long for Arsenal to win it back. Robert just looks on, makes no great contribution.
He's been one of Arsenal's best players so far, Alan, in opening 50-odd minutes.
I can see you probably share the manager's view on the mercurial skills of Laurent Robert, who is technically a beautifully gifted player, but his application sometimes is lacking.
Yeah,
that's as politely as I can put it, really.
Absolutely, certainly is. With all the wonderful ability that we see week in, week out in the Premier League, it's not matched by real desire and real effort. I'm afraid it's worth nothing, because this is a very, very competitive league.
Well, it looks like Charlie Zogbia's the man who's going to be brought on. He's a young man that's figured very infrequently in Newcastle's first team, so that's a bit of a surprise that he hasn't gone for one of his more experienced substitutes. And of course, with a fair bit of the game still to play, Newcastle are about to make their second of the 3 allowed substitutions, so it's risky. Here's Lauren for Arsenal. Pires down the line, wanting the return ball. He had other ideas, but Henry does find Pires, who tried to return the favour. Boumson gets it away. Lauren wins it back for Arsenal. Well, it's a great little turn of speed, but Pires forced into the corner by Olivier Bernard.
Can I have a guess, Alan, who's coming off?
No, because I know you will say Laurent Robert. But it would be a reasonable guess. Boyer continues his complaint towards the referee, and he has to be careful because he's already been yellow carded, and Patrick Vieira might be reminding Mr. Dunn of that, and Bergkamp gets himself unnecessarily involved as well. Fair to say Lee Bowyer's upset 1 or 2 Arsenal players today.
I'll tell you what, if Laurent Robert's going to produce something, Alan, I'll tell you what, there's no better time than right now. And he's capable, let me tell you, this is the crazy part about this man.
Interesting to see if Arsenal pull a man back on the line, as Newcastle did a few minutes ago. Looks as though they're not going to. Genius, the other player over the wall, but I'll be surprised if Robert doesn't take this. He has scored some spectacular free kicks down the years. Is this another? No. And that might be bye-bye.
Yeah, got it up over the wall, but not enough real pace on it to really trouble Almunia. Long way out. Didn't take that much of a run up. No, it's a comfortable one. He's seen it all the way.
And that is bye-bye. Robert goes off to be replaced by the man that we saw champing at the bit to get on a few minutes ago. Charlie Nzogville is only 18. Young Frenchman they signed from the Arve. Midfield player who's played half a dozen matches. That's all this season, mainly as a substitute. I think he started just one game. And he will add to the considerable number of French accents out there today. Especially on the Arsenal side, of course.
I watched him against West Bromwich Albion for Newcastle, and I thought he did quite well, Alan. Lively, very keen, very hungry to get involved.
Incidentally, I saw a statistic recently about the breakdown of the number of foreign players in the English Premier League. The vast majority of them are, in fact, French, with Spain, I think, coming next on the list of imports. Here's Bernard, and that has just gone out of play. Well, Graham Souness knew he had to do something to change things round.
I think Graham Souness there just stepping off the side. I think he's pretty much just suggesting there that now's the time to go 4-4-2.
And certainly with the hour mark rapidly approaching, they have to change things round and give Shearer the opportunity to do what we know he can do.
Absolutely right. Needs a partner.
But at the moment they've got to defend again. Still backs to the wall for Newcastle here. Henry has got himself away from his marker. Perez didn't produce the best free kick I've ever seen from him.
And I think that time Henry in that offside position was actually flagged. Didn't quite get himself back level with the last defender. But I would think now certainly Graham Souness for the last half hour, he's just made a couple of changes. Amiobi, I'm sure, will end up pushing up alongside Shearer up top. In fact, that's where he is.
Yeah, he's already there. And pulls it off well from Campbell's challenge. And finds the substitute Nzogville, whose first contribution was even worse than the man he replaced.
Lee Bowyer looks like he's the one who's going to reoperate in the right-hand side of midfield, leaving Genus and Dyer right in the middle in the engine room. And Nzogville will need to produce a little bit better than what he has there on that occasion, but certainly Alan Shearer there with Sol Campbell, you can see he'll be delighted that finally he'll have a little bit more support up front. And I think the team now is playing in a formation and in a style that they're accustomed to and that they're happy with.
Someone in the header. And certainly Newcastle now are back to the formation that they have employed for most of their games. Not that successfully, it has to be said, but at least the players are more familiar with this system. As Bramble clears straight to Vieira. He's had a fine game again. Cultured layoff there from Bergkamp. It actually caught Perez by surprise, I think. This, it's certainly going to increase the anxiety that Newcastle supporters have been expressing. A long time now since the team made a genuine push for the title. Remember, there were twice runners-up. As Cole tries to beat Given, and very nearly did.
Does fantastically well there, Ashley Cole, to stand that ball back up that high from that sort of angle, running at full tilt. Lee Bowyer does well to track him. Great little ball from Reyes. And he does ever so well to actually clip that back up, and I'll tell you what, he could have at least done with a little bit more support from one of his teammates, because they gave it up.
Perez. To Vieira. Back to Sol Campbell. The old Arsenal made a very successful habit of winning 1-0. The modern version under Arsene Wenger rarely do. So I'd be surprised if the scoreline stays this way as Vieira slides it in to Thierry Henry. How did that stay out?
Unbelievable. Hey, Shay Given did well, stood on his feet for long enough to just get something, a deflection, just to deny Henry. And a nice, a large chunk of luck as well.
Jean-Pierre went in with both feet there. And the home fans very unhappy that the referee didn't give a free kick. They've got possession still with Henry. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And he's still got his shot in. Cole. That might earn him retribution from the referee as Henry defies gravity once again.
This is the initial block, I think, when now Vieira picks it up. Henry peels off a boom song, just slides in, and you think for all the will in the world it's going to end up in the back of the net. It's the post, comes straight back in Shay Given's hands, but he does stand up. The goalkeeper doesn't go to ground too quickly. That's a great save. That's an outstanding save.
To deny the Premier League's leading goal scorer is Amiobi for Newcastle. Still in this, while the scoreline remains at 1-0.
Absolutely, Alan. Exactly right. They've really posed no real threat at all, attacking-wise, Newcastle. But they're very much still in this game. The home crowd, as we've seen in recent weeks, they will start getting anxious all the time. That score remains 1-0.
And certainly, Andy, there's one area in which Newcastle will have done what their manager wants, and that's commitment today. They've been fully committed. Absolutely right.
They really have. They know full well that they've had to certainly match Arsenal, one of the most hard-working teams, never mind all the quality they have. Got to match them in that department at least, and they have. Now they've got to try and transfer some of that hard work into creating something from the wide areas, give those two forwards now, Amiobi and Shearer, something to attack.
A bit of a bizarre throw in there, which actually didn't come back onto the field of play at any stage. Almunia clears. And we can have another throw. This time it's Newcastle. Newcastle have only won 2 of their last 25 away games in the Premier League. And both of those were this season at Southampton and Crystal Palace, but they have drawn 15 times, and they happily take a draw at the moment.
They should be better than where they are with the squad they have and the players they have. It's not good enough.
That's the possession statistics so far for the second half, as Reyes and Henry add another notch to it from Arsenal's point of view. Oh, great little ball again by Henry. Just drops his shoulder and sucks in even the most experienced defenders.
And then first couple of touches that he have, he's just trying to isolate the defender, as it was Boomsong there, who we know is no slouch, he's quick. But once he gets you standing still, you know he's going to drop the shoulder and zip past you, and you can't stop him.
He makes fools out of even the very best. And takes the corner. Oh! Well, it's Shure, of all people, who came steaming in and got some kind of contact.
Again, the quality of the ball in, Alan, gives the forward something to attack. Goalkeeper can't possibly come off his line. I think it's Aaron Hughes with Kolo Toure, who does well in the end just to get something on it. Could have ended up in the back of the net. Again, the speed and the trajectory of the delivery, so important, so crucial, and Henry has got that off to a fine art at the moment.
The kick to Arsenal. They lead 1-0, remember. They started the match 13 points behind the Premier League leaders Chelsea, and also, of course, 2 points behind Manchester United. So, realistically, anything less than a victory is not good enough. And Henry almost took that difficult ball.
Unlucky, that was a difficult take from Jose Reyes. Great little clip through.
Well, you cannot fault Graham Souness for making bold decisions, and he is going to bring on his third and final substitute by the looks of it, with still 25 minutes to play. And it's an attacking sub as well in Patrick Kluivert. Bramble. Oh yeah. Charged down by Cole. Reyes for Arsenal. Vieira, great ball back to Reyes. Henry's peeling away to the far post. He looks for him. It's gone beyond him, and a wonder save by Given from Pires. How did he keep that one out?
Fantastic goalkeeping that is again from Shay Given. Somehow keeps his team in this match.
Well, quite literally, from the first minute to the 65th minute, Given has been outstanding. And I'm sure he will for the remaining 25.
Absolutely right, he is top class, he really is, Shay Given. It's a wonderful flowing move again from Arsenal. And I mean, Pires really should score. Great little 1-2 there with Vieira and Reyes. Now they've got the extra man at the back stick. Henry runs across the near post. Here's Pires, you think there it goes, that's a fantastic save. That really is top class goalkeeping. Hands by his inside, keeping them low to the ground. Great stuff.
Well, he's been 7 years now at Newcastle United. Shea Given. There is Manny denied then.
Again, Arsene Wenger will be thinking we should now really be home and dry. We should be 3 up. The game should be finished, all over. But it's not. Newcastle are still in this match. I'll be very surprised if they don't create some sort of opportunity somewhere.
Could it be all over for Boomsong, who seems to be feeling his hamstring? And that obviously has caused a change of plan now on the Newcastle bench. Andy O'Brien is going to come on rather than Patrick Kluivert. That's a big blow in 2 senses.
Absolutely.
Newcastle.
Absolutely. Not only obviously for wanting to make a change in terms of trying to get something out of this game, but long term to lose a key player, a big major signing with a hamstring injury as that looked. Look, there's the frustration. That says it all.
Hamstring, what you're looking at usually 3 weeks or something.
Or more than that, Alan.
More.
If you've tore it, you could be looking at 6-8 weeks, even possibly longer. And again, I don't know Jean-Alain Boumsong's medical history, but if he has had hamstrings before and he is, you know, if he is prone to pulling them, they can be 2 months easily.
And expensive new signing will play no further part in this game, and quite possibly a few more in the near future. How's your luck? Alan Shearer must be, Graham Souness must be thinking, and Alan Shearer, who's just come back after all his injury problems as well. Genius, but at no stage have they thrown the towel in here, Newcastle. I've got to admire them for that.
No, they've kept going. They've just been pretty devoid of real idea. They've just been a little bit clueless in the last third. But they've been working. They're all certainly working very hard, and they can be thankful that their goalkeeper's in absolutely sparkling form.
And ironically, 2 of the defenders that Graham Souness inherited, Aaron Hughes and Andy O'Brien, and 2 that he has been leaving out of the team in recent matches, are now back out there. But the fact remains, it's still only a 1-0 advantage that the champions have. And whilst it remains so slender, Arsene Wenger and the Arsenal fans will remain anxious. Free kick. The other irony is, of course, Bernard is there as well, who it seems has little future at Newcastle. Now Babayaro has signed. Bergkamp's free kick. Ball by Kieran Dyer, who's been a bit of a fringe figure today.
Yeah.
Spiney. Pires. Henry. 2 men charged it down, and Dyer finally gets it away, but he's given it away. Cole. And well here, Ashley Cole. Very well. But Hughes stuck at it and prevents the corner.
Yeah, he did well there, Aaron Hughes, but full marks to Ashley Cole for persistence. He's run 40-odd yards, needed support, and still managed to find the energy to go again.
And will be called upon again here as Reyes gets into the penalty box. Now Henry. 20 minutes to go. Arsenal 1, Newcastle 0. And Reyes can't get a grip of the ball here. Can't get out of their own half.
Well played. Did well there, Titus Bramble. Didn't panic.
Bernard. Dyer. Bramble again. That's not a bad ball. Amiobi. Shearer. Just beaten to it. As Vieira finds Cole. Arsenal wanted to have finished off Newcastle a lot longer ago, but they might now with Thierry Henry on the way. That's got to be a penalty, hasn't it?
My first reaction, Alan, was he took a tumble. I thought he did.
Mr. Dunn obviously agrees.
It's good feet. He's well aware of where Shay Given is. Certainly the goalkeeper never got the ball, but I do think Thierry Henry actually just dropped to the floor a little bit too easy there for my liking.
Well, the interesting question is if he felt Henry was making a meal of it.
Yeah.
He was entitled to caution him.
Correct.
And didn't. So we move into the final 20 minutes with Arsenal still leading only by 1-0 to 0. Dennis Bergkamp got it early in the first half. Vieira, he's been immense today.
Fabulous.
Reyes with the ball in, surely this is it. No, it's escaped the control of even Henry, and then Cole managed to hit it against the goalkeeper. Incredible miss.
Well, if we thought Flamini's was a miss in the opening minute, that one again from Ashley Cole just needs anything on that. He's going to bundle it in the nets. First and foremost, Henry should do better. Unlike him to have a poor first touch. Watch Ashley Cole flying into a great area, and he just puts it in with his right foot. Now he clips the bottom of his studs. Shay Given again survives.
I think he almost hit it against himself rather than the keeper. Yeah. 10 goal attempts to 3 in Arsenal's favour. 1 goal to 0 in their favour. Toure almost gone on the end of that Reyes corner as well. Free kick to Newcastle, and welcome relief for them, I would think. Very welcome. A breather at last, and a yellow card. Somewhat belatedly, you might argue.
Yeah.
For Patrick Vieira.
Accumulation, probably that one for Patrick Vieira. Coolly bow you a couple of times in the first half, but certainly Arsenal could quite easily only be four goals up here. And they've been that dominant in this match.
Newcastle cling on in there and cling to the hope they could still get something. Shearer battling away as ever. Both players showing each other due respect though then. Minutes to go at Highbury, a game that Arsenal have to win really. If they do, it will take them back above Manchester United, but they will still be 10 points adrift of Chelsea. But at this stage, a win of any kind is welcome. Vieira on to Lauren, on in turn to Pires. Good tackle. Torres is there again, though. Vieira. Henry. Torres dwelling on the ball, but he's still got control of it. Henry! Oh, he's done it again! Give the man of the match award to him now. No one can surpass what Given has produced here today.
Fantastic save from Shay Given again. How Robert Pires weaved through this little gap here, I don't know. He spins round, does a lovely 360, loses Titus Bramble. Henry with the shot. What a hand that is from Shay Given. I mean, that's a goalkeeper in inspired form. Claws that away for a corner yet again.
Well, the likes of Peter Cech might disagree, but we are looking at one of the very finest keepers in English football in Shay Given. There's no question about that, and he's shown why today. Single-handedly kept Arsenal at bay. Apart from that one moment when Bergkamp beat him. Henry, he's outrageous, this ball. Pires leaves it. Skill, speed, strength, what more can he have? Bernard, clearance was charged down, and it's hit the corner flag and stayed in play. Reyes, good turn by him. Pulls it back. Flamini's shot was blocked. Pressure's mounting.
It's just incessant pressure, isn't it? Newcastle back four and midfield players just can't possibly catch a breather at the moment. Every time they lift their heads, there's red shirts pouring at them from all angles.
Well, this quarter of an hour is going to seem like 3 hours to those Newcastle players. 9 corners to 0. That sums it up. And O'Brien got his head to that one. dangerous place to concede a free kick. Genius isn't happy with the decision.
Yeah, whether Pires was using his experience there or not, I'm not sure. He didn't seem to fall over, tumble over rather easily. But nonetheless, Steve Dunn has given it.
And Thierry Henry will take it. And he doesn't often get these wrong. And he did that one. Bergkamp. Back into the danger area. Touré's still up there, so is Campbell. Cole. Time to give it away. Can Zogvia reach that? Yes, he did well. But then Reyes did even better.
Brilliant play that is. Your wide midfield players are tracking back, working so hard for the team.
Excellent play again by Arsenal here. But Vieira beaten in the tackle. That doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, Jermaine Genius it was, I think, who just saw that ball coming in from Lauren and decided to try and nip in front of Vieira and did it very well.
Campbell finds Flamini. Great feet by him. Good tackle by O'Brien. Dennis Bergkamp. Defenders making runs forward now as well for Arsenal as they have to try and retain their shape and their discipline at only 1-0 whilst looking to finish off Newcastle. Laura. He takes a tumble but nothing's given. And Zogvia. Flamini tackles him.
Done well Flamini, Alan, as well today. Very industrious, works hard. No frills or not a fussy player, just does his job very well.
And Seamus, I think, is very unhappy with the referee again. As he has a standing order to FA headquarters to pay his fines, he should keep his thoughts to himself, I think. Well, can Newcastle snatch an unlikely result here, or will Arsenal finally put them out of their misery, so to speak? It remains in the balance as we move towards the final 10 minutes. And the mistake has taken it through to Bergkamp. O'Brien recovered well to concede the corner.
Yep, Andy O'Brien just a little bit sloppy, a little bit careless. He knows it as well.
So corner to Reyes. You're taken aback, aren't you, when Henry makes a mistake? Now, what is he going to do here? You wouldn't have been surprised if he left both of those defenders for dead. Minutes to go at Highbury in the Barclays English Premier League. In a match Arsenal must win. They lead 1-0. Henry's latest corner. Oh, they missed another one. Bodies were piling in. Vieira maybe the closest to it.
Yeah, he should have scored there, Patrick Vieira. Again, watch him. See him right in the middle of the 6-yard box. He should be doing better than that. All right, he's coming slightly away from the goals. I think he's good enough to head that. Certainly Test Shea given again.
He got the winner, of course, when the sides met at St James's Park in December. Here's Amiobi, and up with him as well is Bowyer, and there's a chance here! Well, what a chance that was for Lee Bowyer to bring Newcastle level. Well,
I did say, I'll tell you what, I've been very surprised if they didn't get an opportunity somewhere, and there it was. I'll tell you what, Lee Bowyer, after darting inside Ashley Cole, I thought he was just going to slide that past Almunia. How ironic that would have been, but that's how easy it is to concede a goal in top-class football. Does well Amiobi, dips inside Ashley Cole, Lee Bowyer, and he doesn't really hit it. It's on his weaker foot, but he should do better. Newcastle could well be level, amazingly.
Yeah, in many ways it would have been daylight robbery or floodlight robbery, but they'd have taken it. Genius. for Bramble. And maybe lifted by that. Starting to come out of their shell a little bit.
What it does, it just rocks the Arsenal, Alan, as well. It just keeps Sol Campbell and Kolo Toure and Lauren and Ashley Cole just for the next 5 minutes, just worrying about their own jobs. They're at the back again. They've had so many players pouring forward from all angles, Arsenal. Sometimes you just need a reminder that we're here now, we're 1 up, we don't have to score again.
Shearer did brilliantly there to earn his team a throw. Hughes, that's gone out of play, that's disappointing. Well, he was a terrific footballer, but also a terrific fighter in his day. He would have admired the effort from his team there, as we see something we didn't see at the time. Toure elbowing Shearer in the back.
Yeah, he's out of order there, Kolo Toure. Obviously miffed the challenge from Alan Shearer, but typically it was a strong one and an honest one from Shearer. Lucky reacting like that with an elbow.
I think it was in the penalty area as well. It doesn't matter where the ball is. If you with a foul like that, here goes Thierry Henry.
Just wonder, Alan, nowadays whether we've heard the last of that incident as well.
Yes, the FA now, of course, have the right to use video evidence to discipline players subsequent to whatever happens in the match itself. Here's Dennis Bergkamp finding room. Here storming forward as well, and inevitably Henry involved. Stubborn, aren't they, Newcastle? They still believe they can get something here. 7 minutes to go.
I'll tell you what, Titus Bramble's been criticised heavily since he's played for Newcastle. Been impressed with him over the last few weeks. He looks like he's rose to the challenge that Graham Souness has laid down to some of the younger players. He's got better.
Bowyer, who should surely have brought Newcastle level. Pull down the line, deflects to Shearer, and Shearer's got inside the first defender, and then bulldozes Cole out of the way. And Amiobi's come to win it back for Newcastle. He's got nobody to hit at the moment. That's not a bad ball. And it's panic station suddenly for Arsenal.
Absolutely right. Kolo Toure doing exactly the right thing there. The ball may have ended up in his goalkeeper's hands. But Kolo Toure, I think, does very well just to smash that behind the goals and deal with the next situation.
It's Newcastle's first corner of the game with only, what, 6 minutes to go. Amiobi climbs well. Stabbed away to Pires by Toure. Well, the oldest cliche going is that 1-0 is not a safe scoreline, and Newcastle have shown just why. That phrase is used so often in football. Arsenal, in every respect other than the scoreline, were coasting. Now they're not. Hughes. Bowyer gets into the box. And it breaks for Bergkamp. Suddenly, of course, now as Newcastle commit more men forward, there are spaces opening up. Foul.
It's a good foul to draw again. Jose Reyes does that particularly well. You can see that the game's becoming very stretched. Not a bad time, if you do get clipped there, to hit the floor. Let everybody calm down, draw breath, let the back four hit the halfway line, and now make Newcastle defend again.
And this man has been magnificent. Bryant allowing Henry to get in behind him, that's dangerous. Newcastle have been outplayed in many ways, and if it hadn't have been for Shea Given, they would have been hammered by now.
Absolutely.
But, you know, there have been signs there of an effort and a kind of commitment to the cause.
Absolutely right, Alan. The determination, the resilience, absolutely.
And they're still in there in the last 5 minutes. That's the biggest tribute you can pay them. And, of course, they won't play teams as good as Arsenal every week. So I'm sure Newcastle will improve in this final third of the season. Of course, the big question is whether Arsenal can maintain their recent winning form, other than the blip at Bolton, to stay on the tails of Chelsea.
Certainly the performance today has been a lot more like what I've expected to see from Arsenal. a lot more pacey and a lot more power about their game today, as we say, but for perhaps some inspired goalkeeping, one or two missed chances, Arsenal could have won this game 4 or 5, whatever you want to put on it. Their football's been very good.
Cole onto Reyes. Cole's continued his run forward. No question of Arsenal shutting up shop, by the way, they never do. Oh, wonderful. Unlucky there, Reyes. Oh dear. Oh, he looks at the turf and looks for an excuse. There's Reyes again. Oh, he got lucky. Brian just keeps it away from Henry this time. Too much on for him, he had to go back to the back four. Bramble. And Zogbia. There's Genus. Not long for Boya, but easily won back by Arsenal. And then carelessly given away by Reyes. Bramble. More often he's crossed the halfway line today. Shearer's cross to no one in particular, and it was an Arsenal man who got there first. For Brian, and this was gone for offside, I think, as Arsenal make a very late change here.
Yeah, that's purely as well because there's a few tired legs out there, and he just wants to break the game up now, Arsene Wenger.
King commits the foul. That will enable Arsenal to make their change. As you can see, Reyes is the man who's coming off to be replaced by the 17-year-old Francesc Fabregas, who's been playing regularly in the side in recent months. In fact, he's about to make his 27th appearance of the season, which is some total for a 17-year-old in this side. The youngest player in Arsenal's history, when he made his debut for them at 16, and the youngest ever goal scorer. Slow walk to the touchline by Reyes. Pat on the back from Pat Rice. We're in the final minute at Highbury. Arsenal 1, Newcastle 0. Still some defending now for Arsenal to do.
Thierry Henry, that is there, running 40-odd yard back, shadowing Andy O'Brien and winning the header, and now he's picking it up.
Amazing. Oh. Well, Genus will be in trouble for that tackle. Crowd are baying for a red card. I don't think it's that. For Jermaine Genus, and perhaps more importantly, an opportunity for Arsenal to keep the ball in the opposition half as we move into just 2 minutes of stoppage time. Surprised there isn't a bit more than that, and I would imagine Graham Souness will be even more surprised. Just the man you want on the ball in this scenario, by the way. It came off him from Newcastle throw. Something that might be slightly concerned at his team's inability to finish off Newcastle United. It's Chelsea at the moment who seems to be free scoring, but all that matters in Arsenal's situation now is winning. Hence the fact they've shown their first negative moment of the game going back to Almunia. And you have to pay credit to Newcastle for the fact they haven't been steamrolled yet.
No, absolutely, they've kept going, which has given them an opportunity in the last 10 minutes. The Bowyer, of course, had a great opportunity, could have levelled the game. I think Arsene Wenger could have asked no more from his team. I think they played very, very well today, Arsenal. Look a lot more like the team that went on that amazing 49-game unbeaten run. they continue to play like this, maybe Jose Mourinho just might have to keep his team at it for a little bit longer.
Well, Arsenal have got to keep at it for another 30 seconds or so. Gibbon will want to get this as far forward as he can, because he knows this will be Newcastle's final attack. There's O'Brien for them. Bowyer lays it in field to Amiobi, gets it back and then hammers it straight against Pires. Seconds remaining at Highbury. A crucial victory for Arsenal on the cards. But it isn't finished yet, as Hughes swings one in. That could be interesting as Shearer goes up and wins the header, but cannot get it on target.
First one he's had to attack all afternoon, Alan, that. It's the first one Alan Shearer has had a sight of, and he can go and attack, and he's won it. It's taken him till the 93rd minute to find it.
Winning it back. He's gone into a 3rd minute of stoppage time here. Patrick Vieira probably saying to him, what happened to the 2 minutes? It's all over at Highbury, but it's not all over yet as far as the championship race is concerned. Arsenal and Manchester United are still doggedly clinging onto the heels of the leaders Chelsea. The gap is back to 10 points now. Arsenal are back into 2nd place above Manchester United. If it hadn't been for the heroics of Shay Given in the picture there now, then Arsenal would have improved their already impressive goal difference as well. He produced a string of magnificent saves to keep Arsenal at bay and keep the supporters, players and management nervously looking at their watches right until the end of stoppage time. We had a few vintage moments from Thierry Henry. 1 goal only for Arsenal, scored by Dennis Bergkamp. So many chances for them, and just one clear-cut one for Newcastle. Arsenal have won here by 1-0.